A little bit of menthol. This is real. Wine one's really good, actually. My name's Matthew Horkey. For the last 6 years, I've been traveling around the world, tasting thousands of wines per year in search of the most unique, exciting, and expensive bottles on the planet. But today, I'm blind tasting expensive Washington cabs. Washington State's really been making noise with its Cabernet Sauvignon. Some of the growers actually think that might be the signature variety in the state. Washington State is actually the second largest wine producing state in the US, and it's so far north, just like Europe, so they have long growing seasons. I think a lot of Americans, when they go over to Europe during the summer, are quite shocked by how long the days actually last. Some wine growing regions, like in Spain, the sun doesn't set until like 10:30 p.m. A lot of people think of the Pacific Northwest, Washington State, as pretty wet wine growing regions, or on the eastern slopes of the Cascade Ranges. So there's a rain shadow, it's dry, and it's really sunny. And if you've ever been out there before, it is just high desert. There is nothing there. When tasting wine, cheap versus expensive wine generally is pretty easy to tell the difference. A more challenging tasting is expensive versus expensive wine. And here's why. This is how I believe wine quality and price relationship is. If you step into the $30 to $50 range, you get a massive spike in quality. However, when you start to go over that $50 range, you have the law of diminishing returns, where the wine does get better, but it's just by a little bit. You don't have that drastic improvement in quality like in the $30 to $50 range. The Cabernet Sauvignon in Washington State is not as expensive as those in Napa, but it's starting to get up in there in price. I've got 6 different wines here ranging everywhere from $35 to about $115 US. Let's see which ones I prefer, and I'm going to see if I can spot the $100 cab. For tastings, I'm going to be using these glasses. I found these glasses on Amazon called Rovsya. They're supposedly hand-blown. These are supposed to be Burgundy glasses, but to me, they act a little bit more like some of the Grand Cabernet glasses you get from Riedel. A lot of people ask you how they can support the channel. I'll put a link in the description below. These glasses are inexpensive. They're super high quality. I've really enjoyed using them. Buying through that link helps the channel out quite a bit. Let's start tasting. I know what the 6 wines are, just I haven't tasted any of them before. I don't know what the order is, so let's give it a go here. I'm going to taste 2 at a time. Here's a hot wine tip. If you really want to learn about wine, you got to taste at least 2 wines at a time, side by side, so you can see a difference. Got my legal pad. Let's get it. Usually when it comes to Cabernet Sauvignon or other big red wines, the quality of oak, if there's a little bit more oak, if the oak tastes a little more expensive, more high quality, it usually means the wine is more expensive. Better oak is going to allow for longer ageability, finer tannins. Wine 1 smells like Cabernet. Actually, wine 1 smells really good. A lot of when it comes to high quality Cabernet Sauvignon based wines, I want to smell that tobacco. I want to smell a little bit of that bell pepper note, black cherry, black currant type of flavors. A little bit of menthol. This is wine 1's really good, actually. Wine 1's really good. You got to be careful too when you're tasting wine. The first wine of the day usually leaves an impression on the palate, and sometimes you can get tricked into the first wine you taste being your favorite wine. So you gotta be careful. Wine 2 is a lot darker. There's more cola type of flavors, which to my palate scares me a little bit. Now it's starting to come through a little bit more. Nice. These are nice wines. Wine 2 in comparison to wine 1, wine 2 has a little bit more tannin, a little more cola flavor. I like the bright fruit of wine 1. Wine 2 is still good, but I think I prefer 1 so far. A lot of times with these expensive wines, it comes down to personal preference, what you actually enjoy. I enjoy a little more fruit, a little bit more freshness in my wines, both white and red. Some people like a lot more wood, a lot more structure, a lot more concentration. Wine number 3. Wine 3 is quite suave, quite refined. The oak smells very expensive. Wine 3 smells to me like it'd be a little bit more European, which I'm actually digging. A little more nuance. What I mean by that, a little more earthy nuances, a lot of stuff besides the fruit. Good wine. Wine number 4. Wine 4 has a lot of wood. Wine 4 is quite good. Acidity makes my mouth water a little bit. Tannins are nice and fine. What I'm noticing so far with these Washington cabs, there's a little bit more acidity than that you're going to find in Napa from these ones right here, which I'm really digging. Well, I've had a number of brilliant Napa Cabs. Sometimes Napa Cabs can just be a little bit too heavy for me. They're wines that I don't really enjoy drinking. I'm really enjoying this right here. These wines so far obviously have Cabernet fruit, but they have some of those graphite, those capsicum notes that I want in Bordeaux. Wine number 5. Wine number 5 is all about balance. Wine number 5 almost smells like a Rhone wine. Tart cherries. You know what? One thing that's really wow, that's a good wine. One thing that's really standing out with all these wines so far is how good the tannin management is here. These are all young wines, I think all 2018, 2019, but they're not ripping my face off. Cabernet sometimes can be quite austere, quite aggressive with the tannins. That's why they're great steak wines. You really need meat to soak up the tannin. Wine 6 is the ripest out of the bunch. Wine 6 is a wine that's big and rich, not usually my style, but for some reason I really like it. Nice acid, the tannins are just, all these tannins here are just so nice. They grip, they massage the palate. They don't really strip your mouth of saliva. Really nice wine. Okay, time for the reveal. I got all 6 here. All the wines here, if I was tasting blind, if I was tasting critically, I would score over 90 points. I thought they were all very good. Didn't have any duds. Didn't have any oak bombs here, which actually made me quite happy. Let's do a little bit of arrangement here. Okay, so here's the order. Number 2 just showed a little bit of wood for me. That's probably why I didn't like it as much. This is the 2 Vintners Sal Cabernet Sauvignon from Horse Heaven Hills 2019, named after the Vintners' wife, I believe. Nice wine. Like I said, the oak was just showing a little bit heavy for me. This next, in 5th place, this is the wine I think might have been the most expensive. The wood was really quite polished. It was a good wine. I preferred some of the others a little bit more. This is the Frichette. A little older, 2018 from Red Mountain Cabernet Sauvignon. Nice wine, super polished. Like I said, I thought it was the most expensive. This is $45. The 2 Vintners is $55. So, wow, okay. Let's give it a go. In 4th place here, I thought this wine was very good. I preferred these ones a little bit more. Let's take a look here. This is the Doubleback Cabernet Sauvignon 2019, the most expensive wine in the bunch. This is Drew Bledsoe's wine, NFL quarterback, 110, 115 US dollar. Woo! Good wine, but wow, a little bit pricey. All right, these top 3 I like a heck of a lot. Let's reveal. Okay, these 3 I super highly recommend. Number 5, this is the Sparkman Holler 2019 Cabernet Sauvignon, the cheapest wine in the bunch, $35 US. I think this has Merlot. Malbec, Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot in it. This wine has been named Wine Spectator's top 100 wines of the year. So. Nice wine. Really nice wine. Especially $35. It's a winner. Okay, here's the top 2. I'm super excited about this. In 2nd place, wine number 1. Remember, it's the wine that I opened the tasting with and I was already quite impressed with. And wow, nice wine. L'École number 41. This is the Perigee 7 Hills Vineyard 2018. This is mostly Cabernet with some Merlot, Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, and Malbec in it. $49. I think this is a heck of a wine. It's not cheap, but I think this is a heck of a wine at that price. And then number 1. So this was wine number 6. This is a wine I typically don't like. Like I said, it's a little bit more concentrated, a little bit more rich. Not the type of wine that I usually like, but in this style, it was super well done. This is the Frichette Shaw 32 Vineyard from Red Mountain 2019. $45 US, so kind of in the middle of these wines, and I think really that's a heck of a wine. You like Cabernet Sauvignon, you like things with a lot of fruit, although maybe you have somebody at the table that actually likes a little bit of nuances and complexity. I think this was a very good wine. So, Washington State Cabs, yeah, really nice stuff. I'd love to know, do you like the Cabernet Sauvignon from Washington? Do you have any favorite producers? Drop it in the comments below. And you know what? I'll see you soon.